Hello everyone, it's Casual Chris here bringing you another video today, and this one's a bit different. I don't normally do game reviews or game critic kind of things, but this one's kind of going to be a first.
I know there weren't this many people
I played
in when
the
we left.
Anthem demo over the weekend, and you know, it being a Bioware game, I had some high hopes for it after the disaster that was Mass Effect Andromeda. I had high hopes. I would expect them to bounce back with something a bit new. You know, Anthem is the first of its kind in terms of Bioware's production. They haven't done a kind of mech combat sort of thing, and you know, the early previews look promising, and the demo, well, it left me feeling quite underwhelmed. It's not bad. Don't get me wrong. It's not bad, but it's not exactly good either. It's just very meh. You know, it doesn't do anything for me to stand out from the crowd of this kind of multiplayer. It's not an MMO, so to speak, but it's, you know, it's a bit of an odd one. You know, you're on your own. You could do it all single player without seeing anyone else, but it's just a bit. It doesn't seem to want to commit to being a particular type of game. It's just sort of. It's sitting on the fence of its own genre. You know, it's a third-person shooter with some first-person elements, as you can see on the screen, when you're not in your armor. And then, of course, the way that you do missions and everything, it becomes a multiplayer, you know, 4 players in a party sort of thing. So it's a bit of an oddball. It's almost like it doesn't really know what it wants to be. And yeah, like I said, that kind of makes it a bit just too boring. I mean, it feels very Destiny-like, and I didn't really like Destiny. Obviously, Bungie have since split with Activision, so the passion may return in the next Destiny games, and Destiny 2 might go on to become something good. But this, I mean, we're talking to this guy Matthias, who disappeared and then reappeared. You know, typical glitchy.
Technically, I call it the
But
manifold.
And it does what exactly?
I have really no concept of what's going on.
A type of shaper
I
relic.
mean, that might be down to me not doing my research, but you know, it doesn't help to connect me to it as such. I mean, don't get me wrong, it looks graphically wise, and I mean, there's the size of some of the mech or power armor, whatever you want to call it. I mean, they're pretty impressive looking things, and you know, you feel powerful if you're in those, and those self-opening doors are slightly unnerving, but you know, the world that you're wandering around in, I can't remember the name of the city that you're in, but you know, there's stuff going on. It's alive, but it just, like I said, it's just kind of the gameplay itself. The demo didn't do itself any favours. The gunplay, as you're going to see, I mean, this class we're playing as is just the Ranger. It's the basic standard class that you're given at the very. You know, everyone plays as a Ranger in the demo to begin with. Once you get to, I think it's level 12, you can unlock a second class. But I mean, this is also on normal difficulty. You kind of feel powerful. Don't get me wrong. There's this element of wow. You know, there's quite a lot of power. But, I mean, I'll show you in comparison the Colossus, which will now be on your screen. That feels powerful. I mean, the extra abilities this guy has, this suit has, just makes you feel almost unstoppable. But you don't have a shield, so you have to, you know, sort of tank a lot of damage. But the problem is, in the demo, you can't tank that much because your health just disappears really quickly when you come under fire. And you can't just, you know, when I say you tank a lot of damage, it means you can take a lot of it before having to withdraw. In this, you find yourself hiding behind a rock as a Colossus quite a lot because, you know, ultimately you aggro everything shoots at you, and your health is just gone. And next thing you know, you need reviving. So maybe that's just early level Colossus, I don't know, but he doesn't tank enough. You know, you can do some cool things. I mean, don't get me wrong, the flying mechanic is really kind of cool.
Stay where
You know, it gets a little bit irritating by how quickly you overheat. Whether that becomes an upgradable thing later on, I don't know. And being able to customize your armor, I mean, if I show you. So this is the customizing screen where you can change the appearance of your armor, and you can also equip stuff. But this is purely the cosmetic side of things. And as you can see, there is that purple thing. That I'm guessing that's going to be their equivalent of what does it say, shards or whatever. I'm guessing that's going to be their microtransaction currency. So I can immediately tell how this is going to go. Obviously, we saw how this happened with anything that associates EA. You know, unfortunately, that it's going to be the case of the cool cosmetic stuff and upgrades are going to be purchasable via these shards, and all the whales are going to have all the good stuff. I don't know whether this is going to have some kind of PvP. Hopefully that doesn't affect PvP if that becomes a thing, but I somewhat struggle to think it's going to be their way of making money from it. I mean, Anthem hasn't really got the biggest following as it is, because a lot of people have been turned off simply by the fact that it's associated with EA. If this was purely Bioware on its own, I think it would have a much bigger following. There'd be a lot more optimism about it. But because EA, obviously their recent misdemeanors with Star Wars and just EA as in general with their whole loot crate situation with FIFA, it's kind of dulled it down before it's been given a chance to get exciting, if that makes sense. So, I mean, don't get me wrong, the customizing is quite cool. I mean, I had a little play around here, as you can see, with changing the colour of my armour, although it's basically, you can have it, chrome looking with the odd pattern, or, yellow, basically, unless you want to purchase, there's particular skins which gives you like a banner colour, which kind of works, but it's, I would prefer to be able to choose the colour in general, like if I want a piece of red armour or blue or such and such. So whether that's going to come in the full game, I don't know. Will I buy the full game after playing the demo? I've got to say, the demo didn't grab me enough to do that. I mean, I only played probably about 4 or 5 hours of it. I mean, I've got all the footage recorded, and yeah, it's not been the best, I'll be honest. And whenever this is the problem for me, is that Bioware has such a lofty reputation with me. Obviously, I've started playing Mass Effect again. As you'll see by the previous video I uploaded, and the one after this will most likely be a Mass Effect video as well. And obviously, I've played all the Mass Effects, including Andromeda, as disappointing as that was. Oh yes, of course, you've got emotes. Yes, that's very Destiny-like and the works. But of course, I'm going to have air guitar because I actually play the guitar. But sort of going off on a tangent here. So going back to it, I've played all the Dragon Ages. I've played all the Mass Effects, including Andromeda, despite how much of a car crash that was. I gave it a chance, and that had very much the same feeling as this. It was just kind of meh. BioWare's lost its magic of being able to draw me in, to be invested in it. I mean, the story, I know it's only going to be a small smidgen of it, and, doesn't really have any context in the demo, but its character building and everything. The world itself is beautiful and well designed, what little there is of it in the demo. But that's about it. That's all the good points of it. The gunplay's mediocre. The customization is good. I mean, everything in the demo is 25 coins, which obviously isn't going to be the case in the full game. So it's not going to feel as free to create your own. I mean, there's not much freedom in this anyway. You're sort of limited to 2 sets. So it's, yeah. For me, is it going to be worth the buy? This is what I'm on about with the graphics on the armor. That's the only way that you can actually have different colours on it, other than flipping silver and yellow. Is it going to be worth buying at release or pre-order? It's certainly not worth a pre-order. Definitely not worth a pre-order. Is it going to be worth buying on release day? not at £45. I mean, I live in Britain, so that's what the you know, it's 45, 50 quid. It's probably going to be about $60 or euros or whatever currency you use. So, is it worth that much based on the demo? No, not a chance. Do I think it'll become free come the end of the year? I think there's a strong possibility that it'll become free to play, because I just feel like it's going to flop, you know. And I worry for Bioware, because obviously Visceral got shut down after, you know, Dead Space didn't quite make the money it needed to, and obviously Battlefield Hardline was a complete disaster. So I worry for Bioware. I hope they don't go the same direction, because they are a studio that knows how to make good stories. But it's when EA is clamping down the deadlines on them, the games feel soulless, you know. And this, it just doesn't do it for me, I'm afraid. Maybe with a group of friends, it might be enjoyable on a hard difficulty. I mean, I played it on normal to hard during the demo, and it wasn't really that challenging, and I was just in a party of randoms, you know. I don't really know. For me, it's too bland, too ordinary, and too samey compared to the rest of the other, you know, games like Destiny and I forget the name, Warframe. You know, it's too much like them. It's trying to be like them too much. I would rather that it try to be its own thing, and because it's trying to sort of sit on the fence between being a game like Destiny and Warframe and being a game like, you know, third-person shootery kind of like Andromeda, it's sort of sitting in that middle ground where it doesn't seem to make up its mind, and it lacks. It doesn't have any of the good points from either, and you just find yourself kind of sat, you know, meh. So for me, Anthem, it's a no from me, at least based on the demo. The full game could be a completely different story altogether and could be incredible, but the demo, it's not looking great. But anyway, that's all I'm going to say on it. I will be watching the game with eagle eyes across when it's released and see how it does. And you never know, I might pick it up. But for now, I'm going to stick with BioWare's previous productions in Dragon Age and Mass Effect. So anyway, that's my thoughts on Anthem. Hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to comment what you thought of the demo if you played it, and I'll see you all in the next video. Cheerio.